Hey everybody, I haven't think I've done a table update in a while, and I thought I'd do a little bit of a table update. I have gotten last week a fair bit done. I ended up working the weekend as my weekend to work, and so I haven't been painting that much lately. But I got a fair bit done last week on detail, and I did my highlighting on the blue for my French Languedocs, and so really happy with the way these guys are coming along. Um, what I still have to do now is I did end up painting their belts white, which I had seen in some of the plates, and I like the look of it too. I still have to do the buckles and things. I've done sword hilts, but for the metallics, I still have some buckles to do, or the buckles to do, and on straps and belts. And looked like they had a bit of a light tan strap going across their back, holding some of their gear, and I did that as well. I have to do the highlighting on the skin, and I have to paint the eyes, so that's going to be a big step coming up soon. But I've got my first sort of base paint on the bases, the brown, and so I have a little bit I can do on the bases, but I'm kind of really getting there now. I have to do some washes, and then probably a little bit of highlighting on the white. I've done some touch up on the white and my second sort of go around with the white, but I'll do a gray wash. I did have a little while ago discussion with Dan Booman on how I do my whites. I might have shown this on the channel before, but this is a light gray model wash by Vallejo. I really like this, and I even sometimes will dilute it just a little bit, maybe a drop of water for every 5 drops of wash. It actually just shows up really nicely on whites, gives them detail in there, but it doesn't make it too dirty. I sometimes use the gray wash, which is not the light gray, for Vallejo, and on a white that's sort of highlighted up, it can make it look a bit of a dirty white. That might be okay for certain things, like if you're wanting to do like a Star Wars ship or something, and where it looks like dirty space or something. There are some applications where I think the other way would look good, but for this, I like it to look a little bit cleaner. I just like it to show some definition to the eye without it looking dirty, and this light gray is actually really nice. And so I will be doing that coming up. Once I get the skin tones, the eyes done and the skin highlighted too, I'll actually do a little bit of one wash there too. That'll be with a soft tone, just really on the skin, and that's it. Not a soft tone dip, but the Army Painter ink wash soft tone. And so yeah, getting really close with these guys. I did, for those of you on the Musty Wargamers Facebook page, you'll have already seen this, but I got a stack of flags. This is all French Indian War. This should really last me a while. This is to catch up on my British, which I've not done yet in a while. I've got a bunch of standards that are not done, and then I actually have some Languedoc too. Now this is meant to not only do the projects that I've done last year and this big batch, but also to last me for a little while and other ones that I'll do, because I've been putting this off for about 2 years to get these. I didn't really want to ship multiple flags from the UK. I just ordered a batch. These are kind of pricey for those of you that have them or looked into them. Because I started with them and I really like them, like this one right here is one of those, I just wanted to continue just to have that look. I know some people will use other ones that you can just print off, and I think that's fine too. But then because I already started, they wouldn't match the ones that I did. So I will have to do those. I've got these tops for the French that go on top of the standards. I don't know the names of these. Some of you may know, but they're sort of a metal. They almost look like a decorative spear tip with some tassels, that come down. So I have those for the French. So I'll have to actually add those and paint those up as I'm doing the flags. So that's kind of where I'm at with this. I'm hoping I'm going to get a good batch of progress. The ones that weren't the regulars, or some of my, like here's one officer on foot. the officers, I've kind of dabbled a bit as I've been painting. I've kind of done some things like the white and some black and some of the skin tones. And here's my drummer. But the drummer's actually, here's the other drummer that I have that I've already done. And the drummers actually have quite a bit of a, oftentimes, different uniform for the French. It's not just reverse in some cases. And so I think I'm just going to, I did some research on some plates and just looked at some things, and it seems to me like there was quite a bit of variety. I think I'm just going to keep them similar to this. I'm gonna touch this guy up as I've done some of the others, but I'm going to paint him the same for the command for the drummer, and then I'll likely work on the horses and the other two officers. Once I've finished the rest of the group, I'll actually just finish those off. I've not found it that convenient to paint them together with these when I'm kind of focused on this assembly line painting, to go into some individualized ones. The other thing I've been doing, just to sort of have something else to do at times when I'm thinking about this Marvel game, and I think I talked about in a recent video that I'm going to be doing the French Indian War stuff for a while, and rather than just stopping the project and going to something else, I'm just throwing in some Marvel miniatures here and there just to throw some other fun into this. Two of the reference materials, the main one is this that I'm using for my Savage Retro Hulk. I don't know if I can try to show this here as best as I can. He's really the one that I'm looking at doing. If you can see here, he actually has some, this is, I don't believe this is cross hatching, it's sort of a hatching for shading. But this very much in this comic has this where you use the black ink to show definition. And he even has, his hair is black, but or like dark green, but it shows like a green to highlight it, but then the rest is black. So I'm kind of trying to emulate that a bit with the hair, I've decided. And I am going to be doing this kind of painting with the black ink on the Hulk, as I've talked about. Here's another one I was using with the Submariner, one of the old comics, and yeah, there's just different shades. Even in this comic strip here, you can see the right and left. He's darker on the right than on the left, in the way that he was colored. But so I am sort of using this guy. I ended up primarily at this point. What I've done is I've used Game Color Escorpina green, or Scorpion green, I guess, as my green, because I found it really close to that green. And then I used, just in the airbrush to highlight it up, I used some yellow green by the Model Color from Vallejo, and I thought that worked out really well. Now I may dilute down and with my brush in some areas underneath with light green by Model Color, just really watered down, just some glazing before I do the inking. And I have to, where I'm at right now, I'll just show you. This is where I'm at right now. It's hard to capture sometimes the airbrushing that I've done with the yellow and the green, depending on the lighting that I've got on it. But I am quite happy so far with just a little bit of the yellow highlighting that I have on the light green, just to show some definition on the raised surfaces. And I've painted his hair just black. I've not done the dark green yet, like we talked about. And then I've just got one solid color of Warlord Purple and Game Color Warlord Purple for the pants. So they're already kind of bright. I might shade in a little bit with some darker purple in the same way I'll do with the green, just a glaze. And then, but most of the definition is going to be inking, like I talked about. It's going to be a new kind of technique that I'm going to be trying. I've seen some other people do, and I'm looking forward to it. Just to sort of clean up the base a little bit for now, not having all the green airbrush, just to show some contrast. I've actually just got the first coat of gray, but I'll be doing some detail painting on the base too. But yeah, so far, I'm really having fun with that, just as a little side thing. I still have to do his teeth and his eyes and some stuff. But this is really just the first coat of base paint, and then just a little bit of airbrushing on the skin. I don't know if you guys can, how well you guys can see in the camera. To the naked eye, I do kind of like it so far, the airbrush work. But I think that what's really going to stand out the most is the inking once it's put on. All right, well, I hope you guys are having a good one. One thing I did want to mention is there will be a Musty Wargamers show this week over on Rusty's channel, technology willing. I know that he had some issues last week, but I believe, or last time around, it was on my channel, but I believe that has been totally fixed, and so we should be good. We have an interesting topic this week, gaming topic this week. For those of you that join in live and participate in the comments, it's always fun. And so, until then, have a good one and take care.